Boom. Back at it again. No, that's copyrighted music. We can't do that.
Not if I voice over it.
Yes, it is. It's 100%.
No, that's the.
You can't do more than like 6 seconds of a song.
It's the Nicktonian version.
The Nicktonian?
Yeah, Nicktonian.
Like Nick but plutonium, or Nicktonium as in the planet?
Both.
Okay.
I mean, it could be Grantonian.
Nick, shut up. Just
No.
shut up for me, please.
Nah.
I know this is a podcast, but Nick, there's only so many aneurysms I could have in a year before Satan comes to me and says, "Shut the fuck up. You should have died 3 days ago."
Oh no, my granddad survived 7 strokes.
Well, different strokes for different folks, am I right?
That's right.
Hmm.
And my pop, he survived an aneurysm. He has a metal plate in his head. A titanium plate.
A titanium plate?
Yep.
That must be hell going through airport security.
Oh, it is. And then when he gets x-rays, it has like serial codes and stuff on it. So like he has like just random numbers in his brain. And he's like, yeah, I'm a government experiment.
I have random numbers in his brain. Turns out they're the numbers from Lost.
They're actually just the sequence of every lottery ticket's winning.
Every day in which a lottery ticket will have a payout.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
That's when that meme that comes out with Kylo, where it's like, I know what I got to do, but I don't know if I had the strength to do it.
Cracking open, like, and then it turns into like the Invincible meme where you're just like pounding on his head as hard as you can, just punching him in the face.
That would hurt my knuckles, man.
What's another generation, huh?
What's another?
I can always make a new one.
Son. I just have to wait 17 years for the powers to kick in. That's such a good TV show.
I still haven't watched it yet. I've seen a couple episodes with you, but that's about it.
Yeah, because I was like, yeah, you're watching it, and you're like, okay. You should watch it. It's really good.
Once you start watching Rise of the Shield Hero, which is another fucking fantastic show.
I suppose. So. But nah, it's pretty good. You should watch it. But you can somewhat understand Omni-Man's point of view because he's lived for thousands of years. He's not human. He's an alien, a Viltrumite.
Hold on, say alien again.
An alien.
Alien?
An alien.
Alan?
An alien.
Alan?
An alien.
God damn it.
Then you got Alan. Alan the alien.
What?
Alan the alien.
Nick, please.
Alan the Alan. Voiced by Seth Rogen.
Just give me 1 second, folks. I just...
He's giving me a look of endearment.
No, far from it.
He's rubbing his temples in glee. With glee. You hear the sighs?
See, our shtick is the straight man and the funny man, but usually you're the straight man. Like, if you know us day to day, Nick is the straight man and I'm the funny man. But when we do this podcast, or we're around our closest friends, Nick is like mentally retarded.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, God. I can't look you in the eyes after that. Nick, stop looking at me like that, Jesus. Please.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. If I turn around and you're still looking at me like that. Gosh dang.
Anyway,
Anyway,
they had the camera.
sorry.
They could have seen that look.
Oh. So, ignoring the copyrighted music we avoided earlier, talking about Star Wars, kind of, maybe, possibly. It could
Supposedly.
happen.
Mayhaps.
My cat's looking at me with disapproval, but no, he's just looking away from me.
Choo-choo, what you think?
Okay.
Flick says he don't care.
Anyway.
Anywho.
Anywho.
A yoo-hoo.
What?
We said anywho, and I look and there's a yoo-hoo.
Okay. Anywho, we're going to talk about Star Wars and what our opinions on the franchise are, and if we have to talk about anything else, possibly
will.
our opinions on the morality and the bullshit the Jedi are full of. Cause fuck Jedi, go Sith.
Yeah, Empire did nothing wrong. They provided stable
Well,
jobs
hold
for the
on.
galactic community.
Hold on. I think they did a few things wrong.
They did nothing wrong.
Nick.
Don't talk about Palpatine.
Nick. I remember seeing this meme.
The rebels are terrorists.
I remember seeing this meme. 23% don't agree with the Emperor, but the other 77%, or no, it's like, 77% think Palpatine's doing a great job. People are stupid. Nick,
What? That's right.
would you like to elaborate?
What? Elaborate on what?
You being stupid.
So, what 2+2?
Gosh dang it.
5?
Nick.
No, it's 4. It's 4. That's 4. For those who are in kindergarten and learn their mathematics.
No, this is never gonna. If you are in kindergarten, watch something else. Watch
What are
anything
you
else.
doing at the crack of dawn? Why are you up?
And why are
supposed
you watching this podcast? There could be 100 more things 1,000 times better than our stupid ramblings.
Just heard Star Wars and they decided to pop on.
I want to be that Ray Skywalker.
Oh my gosh. I hated those movies. I hated the sequels. The fucking I hated Kylo Ren, I hated Rey Skywalker, I hated Finn, I hated every last one of them because it had nothing to do with what the original story was.
The rise and fall of
Well,
Anakin.
no, it's the tragedy. Yeah, it's the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Like the tragedy of Darth Plagueis. Well, this is the tragedy
You have Anakin
Skywalker.
the chosen one who was chosen to be but failed to be.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's a kid who was abducted by a cult at the ripe young age at 10, which was apparently too old to be abducted.
And told that
And
he shouldn't
told
love his mother.
And told he should have zero emotion besides composure. Who then has a mental breakdown after, one, he sees the Jedi betrayed him and the fall of his mother. 2, he loses himself to rage. 3, he believes the woman he loves and the man who was his mentor and brother, he sees them as they betrayed him. He falls into his hate. He's been crippled and forced into a suit for the rest of his life. Then realizes his new master lied to him about how his wife died, and realizes he has kids, does everything he can to stop the Empire from killing his kids while not being so overt about it, and then dies in a moral conflict between the man who taught him everything he knows to save his son. And you know what Rey, I'm not calling her Rey Skywalker.
Rey Palpatine.
Rey Palpatine and fucking Kylo Ren added to that?
0.
Jack shit.
Actually, he done did it because Anakin Skywalker fulfilled the prophecy because he killed Palpatine. The sequel trilogy, one with Rey, brings Palpatine back, which means Anakin failed to be the actual chosen one.
And that would also mean that Luke failed to be the chosen one, because it was a Skywalker who was supposed to do it. And Rey is not a Skywalker by any definition. She's not even married to a Skywalker.
She don't have any Skywalker genes floating inside of her
In
DNA.
fact, she would... Like, that story could have been so much better if it had nothing to do. Maybe reference Han Solo. You can say, hey, a guy in a circular disc flew around one time into this. Yeah, that's essentially what the Millennium Falcon is. Let's be completely honest. That is like textbook flying.
You know what they could have done to save the whole entire series is given Kylo a redemption arc and Rey a fall from grace arc, right?
Well, no,
have
you know
them
what?
cross inner paths, right? So like Rey begins to go into the dark side because Kylo Ren trains her, right? But because she's going into the dark side, and because she's a Palpatine, maybe she's more inclined with the dark side, and she turns more harsh and more evil than Kylo. And then it serves as a foil to Kylo, and Kylo realizes, oh, I don't really want to be on this path, and realizes I need to change, and so it sets him on a redemption arc.
Well, you know what would have made that? You want to know what would have made the sequels better? Had it been a dream sequence. That is the lowest form of twist in cinematic history, and it would have made it better.
It's just a fever dream of Luke.
Yeah,
He
seriously.
drank too much of that blue milk.
Seriously. Having the lowest form of cop-out would have saved those movies, and that is horrible. That is sad. The only redeeming pieces, it has nothing to do with the story, because the story is unredeemable. It is a piece of shit. The only redeeming thing about the movies is the visuals. And for how shitty those movies were,
I don't know,
they looked fucking fantastic.
Choreography was kind of shit.
The choreography was shit, but the cinematography was fantastic.
Yeah, it was all right.
I mean, I could watch.
What I want to understand is how come Kylo Ren, a trained Sith Lord, learned with other Sith Lords
and
martial-
from
like,
Luke Skywalker.
saber martial arts, right? He's supposed to be proficient with the lightsaber. He gets freaking beat by a freaking stormtrooper who wields the lightsaber like a baseball bat. And then a twink little girl who weighs, what, 80 pounds?
And who has
wet.
never, and who has essentially never fought in her goddamn life.
She may have beat up folks with a staff, but that's different from a sword.
Yeah.
Anybody who's ever picked up a stick and a staff, a stick the size of like a longsword, and tries to wield it and fight a person with a staff, it's different. It's way different. The two can't intermix.
I'm just, yeah, those movies pissed me off. The thing I love most about the Star Wars universe are the comics. Because they are
That is
fucking
true.
fantastic.
The comics and the novels. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god. My favorite comics are the ones where, because I talked about this earlier, but it's never really shown in the movies. It's where Darth Vader is trying to save his kids, but not get caught while doing it. He's like, there was this one guy, I forget his name, but he's like the best in the Empire, best general, and he is like gunning for Luke and Leia. Darth Vader's like, holy shit, he almost killed my kids, and he kills this guy to save his kids. That just shows how much Anakin loves his kids, even though he hasn't been there for the majority of that time, and he understands, hey, look, they're not going to be on my side, but I'm going to do everything I can for them now that I know that they're alive.
That's why he didn't kill Luke. He just chopped his hand off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he could have done a killing blow.
He could have fucking force choked him and dropped him down that hole.
Yeah.
It would have been over and done with.
Also, for instance, he already knew that the data shard, but the plans of the Death Star was taken. He already knew that it got sent with 2 droids, but he kept up the charade that he needed to get information from Leia to save Leia, so that he wouldn't be like, I'm gonna have to execute her on spot.
And he also didn't want to break the shit he built.
That's true.
C-3PO just like, holy shit, that's my robot? I don't want to break that. I spent fucking years on that thing.
I was a little kid. I fought for scraps in a cave.
Oh my gosh. But another really good comic. And it's when Leia goes to Anakin's homeworld, where he was born and raised, and she meets all the people who knew Anakin Skywalker. And anytime she brings up the fact that he's Darth Vader, they don't believe a word, because they remember him as
a little happy kid.
And the kid who got out.
Yeah.
The guy who got out and joined the Jedi, which had never been done. He was the one slave who got away from it. And then there was this one guy who's like, yeah, I know who he is. But he was still a good guy then. I can take the good with the bad with Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker. And yeah, it hasn't been a good time, but still.
Darth Vader's just working his 9 to 5. Don't give him any.
I mean, no, like, he's like, he goes, essentially, he's human. We all have struggles, and he struggled with that darkness.
Well, yeah,
he's still fighting with that. And he's like, yeah, I understand that. And like, because Leia, she can't forgive him. But at that point, she realized, yeah,
She had daddy issues.
I mean, you would too if your father was the Dark Overlord of the entire galaxy.
Nah, I'd be like, "What's up, Pop? Can I get a Star Cruiser? You want me to conquer that second quadrant of the universe for you?"
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
Pop.
would do something like
Teach
that.
me how to use that Force Lightning. Oh, that's not your thing? Okay, well, teach me how to choke folk.
And then the powers of fucking Star Wars, they're ridiculous too. Like, there's essentially a power where you can, for Sith, that you can look at someone and they just fucking die. They just fucking die.
Well, Darth Nihilus from the Old Republic games, he could consume people's basically their souls and live forever. But he consumed so much Force, he inevitably became a Force spirit trapped inside of a mask.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was Darth Bane the one that ate planets?
No, that was Darth Nihilus.
Darth Nihilus? Yeah.
The Sith of Hunger.
Fucking eating planets. And look at the pussy ones now. Like, they say the most powerful Jedi or Sith to ever exist. And fuck no, that guy ate planets.
Or Darth Revan. Speaking of which, they're supposed to come out with a Darth Revan movie.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
And I'm so fucking hyped for it.
Oh yeah.
Because essentially,
The true Mandalore.
well, I mean, he's like the John Wick of the fucking
Star Wars universe.
Because oh my god, I'm so hyped to watch that movie.
I hope they do it justice.
Yeah, I do too. But
Well, you know what? I really hope. I hope they bring back like dismemberments, like all the gritty combat, like from like the prequels. You know, all the flashy and like
all the good choreography.
Yeah, because like in the sequel trilogy,
It
you just
was-
see like little nicks and then
Well, it's not even that. And then there's like a bunch of slow motion sequences. I don't want to see that.
I want to see
mean,
a guy get his head chopped off with a lightsaber.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful. And then the prequels.
I want to see a guy lifted up with the Force and turned into like a little chop suey ball.
Seriously.
I want.
I want to see a little green thing who happens to be Grogu as an
Flip
adult,
around.
flip around, killing a bunch of people,
Turning
and
into a
saying,
green
"Where's my
blur."
bounty?"
Or I want to see more like Force powers used to like their highest potential. You know, like
Seriously.
why wield the lightsaber physically? Be like the lady that trained Darth Revan and use the lightsaber with the Force and just float around you like a blade.
Fucking turning King from Seven Deadly Sins.
Exactly.
Just flipping around a fucking staff.
Like if I
everywhere.
was a Sith, I wouldn't have a lightsaber. Maybe for show, but like I just carry around me little metal ball bearings and I fling them everywhere.
Exactly.
I go
You
full
just-
Magneto.
You just like fling them around the entire room. Because you could do like two or like heavy things. You could do like one or two of maybe. But small things, you can see people like manipulate a ton of those. Just imagine all those things flinging around the entire room. I mean, gosh.
That's
dang.
what Count Dooku was known for when he was still a Jedi, being able to lift up hundreds of things, including himself. For instance, he could actually fly with the Force. He could levitate himself up with the Force and move. That's how powerful Count Dooku was. Count Dooku's one of my favorite Sith.
Yeah, and didn't he like take on 3 assassins while he was asleep and drugged?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a fucking fantastic. That was like in the Clone Wars, right?
Yep, it
That was a
was.
fucking fantastic scene.
You know what's really sad though is technically, I mean he is a Sith and he used dark side of the powers, but he saw the corruption in the Jedi as it is because he viewed the Jedi as like a force of order and peace and saw that they had fallen from their vows of establishing order and peace, and so he sought the dark side to establish order and peace and to get rid of the Republic, which was turning into nothing but a republic based around prosperity and what is it, opportunism, where you basically suck out and leech all the profit from like the planets in the outer realms and leave them out to die once all their resources have been
Well, I mean, that's
taken.
what the Empire was doing too.
Yeah,
But they were.
but you see, Count Dooku expected him to actually take the place of Emperor Palpatine because he viewed himself to be at the top and being able to establish order and peace throughout the galaxy. So you can see that he had noble intentions. It's just his methods of acquiring them.
Were stupid because he
Yeah,
chose the people that would so quickly turn on him.
the way of the Sith is treachery, which is what he says at the very end when he realizes, oh, I've been betrayed.
There are a ton of good arcs you could go with it, and then they went with the shoehorned bullshit, which is the sequels.
Oh yeah. I like Rogue One though. Rogue One was a really good one.
I still haven't seen Rogue One.
I have it on DVD.
Yeah, and I didn't spawn off of the one thing in like the first movie. Many Bothans died to get us this information.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it's the whole thing of them getting the
The Death Star plans. It's pretty good. I like the monk that has the Kyber crystal. He's force sensitive, but he never like was trained to actually use the force. But he's in tune with it, and you can see it because he's blind and he's dodging blaster bolts and stuff, just like Anakin does in the tail end of the Clone Wars series. It just shows like even though you may not be trained in the force, if you have some form of connection to it, you can become nigh godlike.
See, like I would never dodge it because I would want to be like Darth Maul, who can just go, nope, nope, go, get out of my fucking way.
Just redirect it.
Yeah, just go fuck off, you son
Or,
of a bitch.
You be like Darth Bane, like absorb it, and then you just keep on absorbing it, and then you can release it out later.
Oh yeah, gosh.
No, what I kind of missed.
So
though,
many good things
is,
you can do, and then the woman who was in charge of it says it's not like they're books we can go off of.
There's
It-
hundreds.
there's
and
hundreds.
of books.
And you chose to try to do something original, which deserves some merit. I believe does deserve some merit that you're trying to do something original. But you went with the safe bullshit option of trying to bring back something that, one, you had no part of the creative process with, two, had no idea what you were doing because you're just a producer. You're not fucking qualified. You have no.
What she should have done is brought in Dave Filoni, and then brought in George Lucas, and then had them write the movies out. They made a very, very good choice with The Mandalorian by allowing Dave Filoni to write The Mandalorian.
And that's why it turned out like it was such a
So
fucking
good.
fantastic show.
Yup. It's just, you get some folks, they decide to try and make things woke, and it ends up going broke.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm afraid that's what might happen with The Mandalorian. I hope it don't happen to the Book of Boba, which is supposed to come out about Boba Fett.
I'm super hyped for Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah, they're bringing Ian McGregor. uh, Snap. The name.
You had it right.
Oh, that was right.
Ian McGregor.
Ian McGregor. So I was right.
And then I think you thought you were saying the boxer
Yeah.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, I think that's who I was. Thinking
But
of saying.
Ian McGregor, and then Hayden Christensen's supposed to make appearance as Darth Vader.
Really?
Apparently, yeah.
That's cool. Are they gonna get James Earl Jones to do the voice?
Is he still alive?
I don't know.
You went to go look at your phone, but I took it away from you
Yes, you
because
did.
you're a very naughty man.
What are you talking about? You just don't like me like looking up things and be like, ha ha ha, I am knowledgeable.
No. Not at all. James Earl Jones, boy. No, he's still alive, but he's 90.
He can still do it.
And he's from Arcabola.
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't you know he's from Mississippi?
Yeah.
My mother used to go to school with his niece.
Really?
Yep.
Who else was from Mississippi? Hold on.
I think Morgan Freeman came from
No,
Mississippi.
he's from Memphis.
Memphis.
Fucking Jim Henson. He's from Mississippi.
I know we got a lot of singers from Mississippi.
Oh yeah, we have a ton. That's like our biggest export, besides cotton. It's cotton, country musicians, and athletes.
Oh yeah, that's right, athletes. Man, speaking of athletes, if they keep karate and the Olympics, if it like hits real big this year, you might see your boy up there.
You?
Yeah, boy, I train my little tail off of be there. I don't even care if I get a medal. I'd just be like, I did karate in the
Oprah's
Olympics.
from Mississippi.
That's right, she is.
A lot of black celebrities too, which is good to see.
Well,
Let's
there's
see.
a lot of.
Oh,
ethnic-
Laura Bailey.
Really?
Yeah, from Critical Role. She's also from Mississippi.
I didn't
Now
know
it's just
that.
me looking up people who are from Mississippi. Let's see here. Don't know who these people are. Sports people.
I did not know Laura Bailey was a Mississippian.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Let's see.
Do.
Conway Twitty. Let's see here.
There's no pictures. Oh, there we go.
It takes a second to load. Toby Turner. That's Tobuscus.
Really?
He's from Mississippi. It's right here.
Tobuscus is from
Tobuscus. Oh my gosh. I did not know that.
We're from Mississippi. I bet he's like an hour's drive from us.
No, no fucking way. He was born in 1985.
Really? 1985?
He's that much older than us? Osborne, Mississippi.
Where's that at?
Let's see here.
Is it near the rice fields? Because I know if you travel like 2 hours to southeast of us, I think it's like in Lowe's or it might be Sarah County. There's just rice fields, just random rice fields.
It's 2 hours away from here.
I was right. Ha ha ha.
Osborne, Mississippi.
We should just show up at his door one day and be like, "Hey, you want to?"
Oh, it's right next to Starkville.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my god. He is so close. I had no idea.
So he's like right next to the homestead.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible. Now someone that we don't know eventually in the future is gonna get a map and go Osborne, Mississippi, right here, 2 hour distance, 2 hour radius. Let's see where they live.
We're gonna show up to his door. He's like, "All right, you're our next guest on the podcast." He's like,
Who are you? Who are you people? Will you pull out a gun? Don't worry about
Don't
it.
worry about it.
Sit down and we're gonna talk about
Random stuff.
We're gonna
Struggle to stay on topic.
We're gonna struggle to stay on topic, but we're gonna talk about Happy Wheels. Remember when Flash was a thing? I can't believe I'm saying that. God, I'm old. God, I'm old.
We old men, man.
Nah, I don't like it.
This ain't no country for old men.
Oh, stop. Stop. Please. I'm begging you.
You know I can't stop.
Yeah, I know. Oh, man. When
It's
was
just-
the last time I actually watched Tobuscus? I'm trying to think.
Nugget biscuit, nugget and a biscuit.
I remember that. I think the last video I ever watched of Tobuscus was my was my sophomore year of high school. It has been 5 years? No.
I remember.
It's been like 6 or 7. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's been about
Sophomore
6 years since
year.
we've been in high school, man.
Oh my god. Because we graduated in 2018.
I graduated in 2017.
Oh yeah, you're a year older than I am.
Yeah.
Shit. How old was I? That was that was like 5 or 6 years ago.
6 for me, 5 for you.
That's wow. My brain just can't keep up and comprehend.
Yeah.
It can't hold on.
Speaking of which, I went to the school auditorium the other day because my sister had a concert.
Did you?
Yeah, she did really good. Man, they're so small. They're just little kids. I looked there, I was like, man, that's what I looked like when I was there. Like, they're just little kids.
Okay, yeah, I see that, but then I see that one kid who was at that karate class, and I found out he was 14! 14, and he's my height!
Which one?
The one with the...
Oh,
Yeah,
he's 14?
he's 14!
No.
Yes!
I thought he was 18. I could swear he told us he was
No,
18.
he looked me dead in the eye and he said, I'm 14, and then someone behind him said, yeah, that's right, he's 14.
So he lied to us, like, or lied to
Possibly.
that one group because he said he was 17 turning 18.
I don't know, but if he's 14, because if he is 18, then he just wanted to fuck with me. But
I
if
don't
he's
know why he would.
but if he's 14, holy shit, he's tall. That's a 14-year-old.
That's why he got them legs they can kick so high with.
Seriously. Anyway,
I can throw a very high knee though. I can knee Ian in the head.
I'm gonna knee my friend in the head. We chastise him for not listening to the podcast, and if you're not listening to the podcast, I just want you to know, if you can hear this,
If you
you're
can hear
listening
this,
to the podcast.
Thank you for listening to the podcast, my boy.
Ian,
This portion is dedicated to you. It's the AMSMR, whatever you want to call it.
okay, no, that's enough. That's enough.
I never understood like the ASMR
The appeal.
stuff.
I recently started understanding it. It's just calming. It's like a
Is
calming.
it?
Yeah, it's kind of calming.
It's rage inducing for me.
Well, it was originally like I can't do like fucking mukbang. That shit is fucking disgusting.
What is that? Is that where like
That's where people are eating into the mic,
Yeah.
and that just makes me want to
That
throw
reminds
up.
me of that Oriental girl that was ripping the heads off.
That was like
of
fucking
squids.
torturing animals.
Yeah, a very sentient animal like squids and
They're
octopi.
like intelligent.
They're super intelligent.
And then she will like have like fish flop around on the ground, and because she's like straight up torturing these animals.
Mm.
And I get it, they're fish or anything, but that's still intelligent animals to some degree.
I'm not some pansy like animal activist or anything, but
No,
you gotta put something out of its misery quick, fast, and painless. You know.
Because, like, just imagine if someone said, oh, we're just barely on the cusp of intelligence, let's eat them. And they're like, okay, fine. If you're going to eat me. Don't fucking torture me while you do it.
Well, you know, squids and octopus could probably take over the world if they weren't nerfed with such a short lifespan.
I thought blue-ringed octopi lived for a good long while.
Well, they're so tiny, but, like, most
Well,
octopi...
they're like one of the most poisonous animals in the world. Oh, sorry, everyone. They're like one of the most venomous animals in the world.
Yeah.
So, like, it doesn't really matter how small you are as long as you pack a big enough punch.
Yeah.
I mean, look at a bullet ant.
But most
Those fuckers are...
most cephalopods, though, they only live like 2 years in captivity and 4 at most in the wild.
I thought you lived longer in captivity.
For some reason, they live shorter in captivity.
That's stupid.
I think the average might be messed up because of the fact they do tend to escape their aquariums a lot, and that's how they end up dying, because they get out of the water and they can't get back in.
You're like, you know what? Fuck this place. Revolution! And they're out of the water. Help!
They're
Help!
flopping in the ground. I wasn't expecting gravity to be so hard. I'm used to water.
I'm used to the water. Then, like, the animal handler comes up. Then why didn't you stay in the water? Because I'm part of the revolution. Yeah? How's that working out for you? Poorly. It starts to wither away and die. Throws up its
Sprinkle me with
middle
water.
tentacle. Goodbye, cruel world. Oh my gosh.
Is this the octopus getting melodramatic? He's like, oh, you'll live. He sprays water on it and he like rehydrates it.
It's like that scene from SpongeBob, the SpongeBob movie. I'm a goofy goober, yeah. Oh,
Goofy goober, yeah.
goober. And then the tears form a heart that didn't short out the water, and then everything comes back to life, even though they've all been dried out for presumably decades. And who the fuck is wearing that old-timey suit to dive that far down? Just use scuba gear. Why can't
That
be
is
so
scuba
extra?
gear.
Okay, not that kind of scuba gear.
But that's the best kind of scuba gear.
It's the most expensive kind of scuba gear.
You got lead on your feet and you just go down to the bottom. You can play in the muck.
Die of lead poisoning within 10 years. Shit.
Ah.
That's probably the third generation holding that.
You have to have like either a machine at the top or a person manually pump air down to you.
But he wasn't hooked up to anything. I swear to God, he wasn't hooked up to anything.
Oh, so he's a phantom diver.
He's like the diver from fucking Scooby-Doo. That ghost. You remember that one?
Yeah.
That fucking ghost diver.
You know what it reminds me of is like the stories of like underwater divers and welders, like the black scuba divers, how they think that they're like a scuba diver and they're looking and they realize that there's no bubbles coming out the rebreather or whatever, and they realize, oh, this isn't a diver, and then they look and it's actually like a squid or something that's gotten inside the mask or an old wetsuit.
Oh, fuck.
But-
I just think of all the poor tragic souls who went into diving bells.
They go up too fast and they explode because of the bends.
Seriously. They did not understand pressure differentials back then. They did when the first guy exploded.
So that begs the question, would there be an equivalent in the Star Wars universe of a diving bell but in space? Because I know they got like the little force field thingies that they use to go through
Well, I'm assuming there's not a pressure difference. Because the reason the pressure is so big, one, is because of gravity, but two, is because of our atmosphere.
and 3 because of the weight of the water.
Yeah. So since there's in space, since there's no atmosphere, and since there's no gravity, and since there's no weight,
It'd be the reverse. All the weight and all the atoms inside the bell would want to try and get out.
well, you wouldn't explode. You would compress, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I'm not talking about like exploding and compressing or whatever. I'm talking about like a diving bell in general, you know?
It would be useless because the purpose of a diving bell is to hold in oxygen. But when you have ships that can hold in oxygen, those ships are technically diving bells.
Yeah, but what if you're just trying to manually manually mine asteroids, you know?
you would have a
live-
ship,
Yeah, but then if you need
and then
to get,
you would have a spacesuit, like we've
exactly.
seen them have spacesuits.
But you need like a relay station, you know?
Yeah, it would have oxygen in it.
Exactly. So would that be the equivalent of a
No,
dive?
because that's a ship. That relay station would be a ship. You would just
We call it a space bell.
Nick, you're coming up with a pointless idea that doesn't need to exist. The reason we had diving bells before is because people would drop shit, and they would drop expensive shit.
And they wanted to get back to it. It's like the river boats that crashed and sunk in the Mississippi that was carrying gold and stuff.
Yeah. However, it would not have a purpose in space because if you could do that, you wouldn't need a diving bell for it. You would just make a space station, and that would be a place or a home.
And you could
A
call it
diving
the
be-
space bell.
A diving bell would not be necessary because that was meant to be temporary. A temporary source of oxygen while someone went down deep.
Unless in the universe you're using the Greek version of space, which is just another form of water called glaciosium.
Well, the Greeks never made it into space.
No, they did.
So we know better than them, and the Greek version of space is wrong. Shock and awe. What do you mean, prove it?
Build me a rocket and we'll go up into space. Man.
Prove it. What do you mean, prove it? I've got so much
You can't tell me
scientific-
the moon ain't made of cheese.
Yes, I can. I have several
The Earth is a
scientific...
tetrahedral square. You can't tell me that it ain't.
You know what? I'm gonna blow your mind right now. The moon is a liberal myth.
It's a liberal.
It's a liberal myth. The liberals made it up so they could tax the bejesus out of us. With all this gravity bullshit.
It's just a giant spotlight. Like,
It's just a...
oh, is that why we send astronauts up there? Because they're changing the light bulb.
They're changing the light bulb. And we finally found one that will last forever, and that's why no one else going to the moon.
Makes
But
sense.
however, Elon Musk wants to harvest that energy for his cars, and that's why he's making
Oh.
moon travel happen.
See, I thought he was just a crash landed Martian. He's just trying to desperately get back home.
No, I think that's Jeff Bezos, but he doesn't care as much because he's like the king of this planet at this point.
You heard he got divorced?
No, that was Bill Gates.
No, I thought Jeff Bezos.
Oh, he also
like,
got divorced, but Bill Gates recently got divorced.
You know what's funny is like the top 5 richest women in the world. Most of them got their wealth through divorce, not through hard work. That's an interesting little side fact.
Nick, why don't you tell me your real opinion on feminism?
No, we get demonetized. Well, we're not really monetized anyway. But
Fuck it. Tell me your opinion on feminism. You know that topic we were supposed to talk about a few episodes ago.
No, we're saving that when we go to do the topic about capitalism.
No, Nick, I want you to tell me now. I want you to tell me and every female that watches this show what your opinion is on feminism. By the way, that's 2. Actually 3 because of Craig's wife. Because she watches it, doesn't
Yeah, I
Did
know.
she subscribe to it?
I don't know if she's subscribed or not.
Subscribe. Subscribe. Subliminal messages. Smoke.
Let's just say,
No, not let's just say. You give me the full and honest truth.
I don't agree with it.
I don't agree with. Enough said.
Let's just say if I was to get into like a full stint on it, this podcast would be about like 2 hours long, and we'd probably lose half of our viewers.
What do you mean half? There's 17 people subscribed.
Yeah, but you know, like you got those folks that are like diehard feminists, yet they're males. They're male feminists.
I don't think we know anyone who's a diehard male feminist.
Well, we got a couple.
Because I agree with a lot of feminist views. However, a lot of them are skewed, and I believe some. So, and this goes for like any belief in
Well,
general. that some views lack the ideal of compromise.
That's true.
Because
That's what we're seeing with this third and fourth wave feminism.
it's all or nothing thinking, and there has to be compromise between some places, and there also has to be true honesty with what is being said.
For
And
instance,
there's a lot of stuff that isn't being fully stated.
we're technically a republic, not a democracy. So not everybody should vote anyway. Personally, I believe that only net taxpayers who have skin in the game should be allowed to vote.
Well, see, here's the thing. Originally, voting was meant not like it wasn't excluded to just no black people, no women. It was
Excluded to landowners.
yeah, I own land, and so that means I would have
which
the right to
would
vote.
have been the net taxpayers back in the day.
Yeah, and like even women and black people back in that time,
If
could
they
still,
own
if they own
land,
land, they had the right to vote. And now, whether or not their votes got thrown out is who's to say.
That's an issue with the ballot casters and the
Yeah.
counters.
Rather than the principle, which was
Exactly.
if you own land, you had every right to say what went on with America because you own part of America.
Exactly.
Now everyone and their brother can vote, and
They all vote for the gimme dats, and what ends up happening is nobody has the money to pay for the gimme dats.
Well, see, yeah, well, see, no, I think the biggest issue is that they don't care to look into what they're voting for.
They vote for whatever politician
They
promises
vo-
them the freest stuff.
And like people are pressuring other people to vote. Like this last election, I was heavily pressured by people I know to vote for Joe Biden. I didn't want to vote for Joe Biden or Donald Trump because I think they're both idiots.
But you know what I say? I'd rather have a wall than nothing at all.
Well, I that's why I voted for Kanye.
God,
That's
you
what
voted for Yeezy.
I legitimately voted for Kanye because I could not, because my morals didn't align with Biden, and I thought Donald Trump was an asshole.
Orange man bad.
He did good things, but I don't think that someone that was that rude, crass, and volatile needs to be in a position of power.
I don't know. Him being rude and everything, threatening to like nuke Iraq and all the Middle East, sure did put him back in line. He calls peace in the Middle East, which is
well, not
feat
necessarily.
that pretty much any president has.
Not necessarily, because towards the end of it, he also, no, it wasn't the end. He also almost started World War III, if you remember that bullshit.
That's fine. A good war is good to create strong men.
Yeah, however, we kind of don't want to have a war. People don't, I don't think, if it's avoidable, I don't think lives should
I think it would fix a lot of our issues. A lot of things, petty things, we put aside for the real issues at hand.
Yeah, well, I agree to some extent. However, I think he was so volatile that could end up biting us in the butt.
Probably nuking all of humanity.
Yeah, so I would rather have Kanye
pro-human race. I would not want the human race eradicated because of just radiation and fickle needs.
Yeah. But I didn't agree with both extremes. I thought they were both stupid. But at the same time, people pressured me, and that's a big thing too. People were pressuring other people to vote. Otherwise, they'll threaten some sort of emotional toll on it.
What are they gonna do? Cry?
I mean, yeah, that's essentially what they would do. However, some of these people could be financial backers of you, and if they found out you didn't vote for who they said you voted for, they could withdraw that finances.
That's why you build your own wealth.
Yeah, that's true. Up to the point where,
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Right.
There's.
That's when you just play chameleon.
Yeah, that's what exactly. I mean, I lied about who I voted for, because it was easier than going against my morals.
Yep. Morals is what makes a person. Honor is whatever you call it. And honor is a gift that a man gives to himself.
Well, here's another one for you. Stand in the ashes of a trillion dead souls and ask the ghost if honor matters. The silence is your answer.
You take that silence as a yes. But
You
you got to keep your honor malleable. You can't be too stoic, otherwise you'll end up defeated. Why fight on a losing hill? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, sometimes you win on that losing hill, though.
You can go to a mountain.
You
get
can
higher
go to a
ground,
mountain. Yeah.
Get higher ground. You'd be like, "Don't do it, Anakin.
You
I have the high ground."
Don't do it. You are my brother.
You're my brother, Anakin. You're
I loved you.
Try the Sith, not join them.
We grossly misquoted that, but anyway,
Copyright issues. We did it on purpose.
it's besides the point. What are we talking about again?
Star Wars feminism, and then voting or something like that.
Yeah, but and the lack of compromise in our society today. I think one of our biggest issues today, especially with cancel culture, which is another stupid thing, because people I know have participated, and I find it
Really?
I find it disgusting.
Who? Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm not saying some of these people out loud, and I'm just whispering it to
the
him.
Plot thickens.
Yeah. And I find it disgusting behavior.
Almost
I think
like
anyone who
molasses.
participates in cancel culture, I don't like you. That's like my legitimate opinion. If I find out that someone I know has participated in cancel culture, I dislike you, because it's
So you know what we need to do? We need to create a counterculture to the cancel culture, and we'll call it promote culture.
anyone they try to cancel, we make bigger, and that's what's happened to some of these people.
It's like was it not Giovanni? What is that woman's name? The one that
The one from The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
She got canceled for her views. However, people were so
livid.
they were hyping her up, and she got like a deal to like direct her own show, which I thought was fantastic.
She got it with Ben Shapiro.
Oh yeah, with his film, I forgot he had like a film. He had like a film company, which is fucking crazy. But yeah, I think the issue we have today is we stop seeing people as people. We either deify or we demonize someone. And I'm using religious language because it's the easiest for people to understand. Nick, please stop putting your foot on my pillow. That's where my head goes.
That's where your hat goes.
Where my head hat.
Your head hat.
It's the hat for my neck. Anyway.
The hat for your neck.
Isn't that just a scarf?
It's your neck.
It's my neck. My gnat.
Your neck. Spelled without a K.
Anyway.
Or a G.
Or an N. Or an A or a T. It's just a bunch of non-existent. So you know how like you have silent letters in a word? You have a missing word in a word.
Speaking of silent stuff, I amazed my coworkers today when deaf guy came in and like he did like some sign language, and I was just like, oh, yeah, I know what you need. You need a flathead. He's like, because he couldn't say yeah, he just snapped and he just nodded his head. He's like, yeah. And they're like, you know how to sign, Nick? And I was like,
Kinda.
it's just enough.
Just enough, kinda.
It's like
But-
it's like I could speak enough of German, Russian, and like Spanish to understand stuff, but don't ask me to communicate back. Because it would be like a toddler trying to recite the Pledge of Allegiance or the Bill of Rights.
Why did it have to be those two?
Because we were talking about political stuff in
I guess.
America.
But anyway, back to my point.
Anywho.
We have a tendency to deify and demonize people. We put people like celebrities on such a high pedestal,
Yeah.
that they garner more attention than needed, and that we
They
can see
become
that.
idols
Yeah, essentially,
in a literal sense.
which one intrudes on their personal freedoms, I believe, to some extent. Because if you've seen like people like that are berated by the paparazzi, like Britney Spears, she's like South Park made fun of it, but it was also a real thing that was happening.
People crawling into their backyard,
Yeah,
snapping
seriously.
photos.
And we're it's an invasion of privacy just because we hold these people to such a high extent. But then we see anyone who slips up, or falls flat or doesn't agree with our moral view, and we say they're the worst person in the world. instead of saying, "Hey, these people are human," we go, "No, they're either a god or they're the literal devil." Uh, so, and we have that issue.
We
And-
forgot to see things in gray.
Yeah, and I believe exactly. When I went to therapy, a lot of things they talked about was black and white thinking. That there's a lot of either it's this or this, and it's never anywhere in between. But that's mostly where things reside. It's in between.
Using religious language and stuff, sins themselves are technically shades of gray. For instance, if you look at the 7 virtues and the 7 deadly sins, for instance, love and lust is technically the same thing, just on the different sides of the spectrum of that scale. Love can become lust with too much.
Well, the virtue
just like
isn't
lust can become love.
the
over
the
time.
virtue isn't love. It's
Chastity.
It's
technically.
chastity, yeah. But yeah, love can turn into lust. But like I believe it's like 5 of the 7 deadly sins you actively do, in your head.
Yeah, a lot of them is thought process.
And I think the only ones that aren't is gluttony and, sloth. Those are the only ones you don't do in your head, and that have to have an actual action behind it, because you can't be gluttonous in thought because that's just thinking.
Yeah.
And
What you gonna do? Get a fat head?
Yeah, and slothful is not doing anything.
Like, it's not bad to rest.
Yeah.
Rest is important. It's how you recover. But it's when you rest too much, it turns into sloth.
Yeah.
And it's not wrong to eat and acquire nourishment, which allows you to keep your energy going.
But there's an issue with overeating. And, well, gluttony isn't just overeating. It's
pretty much
indulging to a very big degree. But those require actions. Because you can't do these things in your head. You have to do them outside. But wrath, pride, envy, greed... those all happen in the heart and in the head. And this is coming from someone.
Pride is not necessarily a bad thing. For instance, it's good to have pride. It allows you to do things and act upon your will as you see fit and perform duties that are necessary. But if you have too much pride, you become a dickhead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but I think you're allowed to have a certain amount of pride. You know, if like you can create a sun in your hand and throw it at people. I think that's like a healthy amount of pride to have.
Yeah.
Because, like, who the fuck is going to fight that? I mean, seriously.
He's talking about Escanor, if you're wondering. It's from an anime.
Yeah.
7 Deadly Sins. Pretty good. You should watch.
We're not sponsored, by the way. What was the topic again? Star Wars, yeah.
Star Wars, and then we jump to like feminism, then we jump to politics, then we jump to breaking down the human psyche, then we talk about
I wouldn't call it breaking down the human psyche. I would say
human psyche of the feministic movement.
Well, not just the feministic. That's just any movement nowadays.
I guess you could call it woke culture.
Yeah, which to some degree is annoying. Now, however, it's not that. And I'm not saying this because I do agree with a lot of the views. The actions of people in this culture, though,
well, you should know them by their fruits, and their fruits show different.
Yeah. So, like, you can say, hey, I believe in this, but when you act in a way that makes me not want to join your cause, like, the best way to describe what I've seen here, and this happened, I believe, in Sweden, and they were passing an no, they weren't passing... They were passing like a pro LGBTQ movement there.
Right.
At this thing where they were deciding inside, you had a bunch of Scottish Christians inside, outside, and a bunch of LGBTQ. Well, the Scottish Christians were blaring with their.
In Sweden?
Yeah. So I say
what are Scottish folk doing in Sweden?
I don't think it was Scottish people. I say that because they had bagpipes, and those are notorious Scottish instrument. But they were blaring bagpipes over everything, so like no one could hear. And I thought that was childish. However, I also saw, and they're like passing out Catholic pamphlets, and I think it was like to gather attention. But I believe that was petty. But what I saw, which sickened me, because I'm part of LGBTQ.
Right.
What sickened me was those people that I'm supposed to be associated with. They started barking like dogs at the people playing the bagpipes.
What?
Yeah.
Barking like dogs.
Barking like dogs, and that disgusted me. That 100% disgusted me
The fickle
because-
petty mannerisms. Of
because I'm supposed to be associated with these people,
right.
and they're acting like children at a place where people are deciding whether or not that this bill should be passed. They are acting like children, and that made me so ashamed to be
So,
a part of this community.
You know what that tells me, right? It tells me on both sides.
It was childish on both sides.
It tells me on both sides when they were little kids, they weren't disciplined and whipped enough.
Seriously, it made me dislike the anti-gay side. It made me dislike the pro-gay side. And I say gay. I'm just saying that to
You just lump that in to make things simpler.
yeah. Because when you have an opinion, when you have a thought, and it's an adult opinion and thought, it must be acted upon like an adult. You have to act like an adult and garner this attention like an adult. Have a conversation, have a common ground, and find some sort of understanding.
And keep petty emotions from flourishing over.
Yeah. However, when you act out of heavy emotion, but out of childishness, it diminishes your cause. It diminishes your belief.
Ruins the meaning.
Yeah, because no one wants to be associated with that. It's
all about presentation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm pretty sure that the Christian side of it had probably had some good things to say. I didn't want to hear it because it was coming off petty and childish.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the LGBTQ community there had a lot to say on the matter. I didn't care to hear it. I didn't even care to look past any further because I saw the actions of those people.
So I guess the next question is what was the bill that they were trying to pass?
I have no fucking clue.
Because, I mean...
I have no fucking clue because I didn't care to go any further than the fact that both sides were childish, and I lost interest because of how childish it was.
So I guess the next question is they already got the rights to marriage and stuff. They're not really persecuted. What else needs to be enacted?
Well, see, there are a lot. Well, see, you can say that they're not being persecuted, but however, these people can be persecuted in their jobs by.
That's just life. Like, everybody's going to get persecuted for one thing or another. You just grow an alligator hide and keep rolling with it.
Yeah. However, if you already have a source of income, and then someone finds out that you're gay, whatever.
Right.
And they fire you because of that. That had nothing to do with your work ethic.
That's
it had
why you
something to do
instill
with who you
dueling rights, and you challenge the guy, and you're like, "I duel you at dawn." You pop a cap in his rear, and then you're done.
That's not legal, though.
That's why I said you instill dueling rights. An armed society is a polite society.
To an extent, yeah. But if you've seen Detroit, then that's not true at all.
That's because not everybody's armed.
No, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have at least one arm, if not two arms.
But they can't be disarmed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that person who did that would probably go to jail for 10 to life. Nah. I'd never catch him.
Nah, they'd be
Detroit.
like, "Hey, Judge, shoot my cousin Joey. What you doing?"
Hey, Rock. What you doing, Rock?
I didn't mean to disarm him.
I didn't mean to disarm him. He just had two arms, and I
his
really
arm
needed
just
an
got
arm.
in the way.
You know, I mean, I was trying to stab him in his liver. I mean, what are you gonna do about
I was
it?
trying to skin the rabbit right, you know.
Just trying to skin the rabbit.
Not
right.
his arm. It just got in the way.
It just got in the way. Oh man.
It's like when snipers use an anti-material rifle on like a guy's helmet. Yeah, I was aiming for the helmet, not the guy's head. Just his helmet.
It's just like when Japanese people shooting at medics. You know, I wasn't aiming for the medic. He just stood in the way. He just got in the way of the guy I was trying to double tap.
Double tap. Wow.
It's not my fault he fucking killed himself. I mean, all I did was tell him to.
Oh, I thought that was a target. I didn't realize that was a red X.
I thought they were trying to make it easier. I thought we were winning.
I thought this was the training grounds.
Are we not at training?
Are
Oh,
we not
wow.
training?
Look
This
at the
ain't
time.
boot
Gotta go, guys. Japan's far away from Geneva.
Geneva.
Isn't Geneva in Germany?
I don't know.
Where is
Probably.
Geneva? Because I'm pretty sure it's Germany, and I think that would be really weird if they had the Geneva Convention where
I
they
don't
talk.
think it would be weird because I mean the Japs and the Nazis were like best buddies for the most part.
No, it's in Switzerland.
Switzerland
Well,
makes
no-
sense
no,
because they're a
see, but-
neutral country.
But the Geneva Convention was to say, hey, these are war crimes,
Right.
and you can't do these things because they're war crimes. And I would have been like, wow, that's really
like rolling
weird
up
to
in
say.
a trench with a shotgun. The
No,
Germans tried to make that a war crime.
I just imagine.
But we speak Americanese.
we
and
speak
gun-
Americanese.
And the gun is all we speak. Praise
Yeah.
be the black powder.
Oh my gosh, we could start a cult. Well, I would say next time on our podcast, but next time we have a guest.
Oh, we do?
Yes, and we're talking about Mars.
Ah.
But that's all we have for tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks everyone
Look
for
very
listening.
excited for that next guest.
Yeah.
'Cause
Right. And remember, fuck it, I can't remember.